Are you ready for class? Welcome back to the Panic Room, everyone, and to another episode of Pax's Little Library of Horrors. Alright guys, so I know I say it all the time, but we actually do have a really awesome book today. If you guys have been following my podcast book videos, I actually found out about this book through Mysterious Universe, my all-time favorite podcast. And we're going chapter by chapter. It's amazing. It's an absolutely perfect book for a book lover. So if you're interested, go check out those series of videos. In, I believe it was the Cryptic Books chapter, I talked about a guy by the name of Kit Williams. And in that chapter, it details about how he buried a treasure in real life. And in order to lead people to this treasure, he wrote a children's book about it. And I said in that video that if I could find it, we would do a little Library of Horrors episode. Well, guess what? I found it. Masquerade by Kit Williams. And boy, did this not disappoint. This is strange as hell. To give you guys a little bit of an overview, Kit Williams actually did bury a treasure, supposedly, over in the UK, and the story of the book is basically a huge riddle. Now I'm going to pause here and say that if you are familiar with the tarot, and specifically the Jungian archetypes that kind of went into the tarot, and the whole idea of the fool's journey, the fool from the tarot, if you're familiar with that, I feel like this is going to ring some bells for you, because that's really what I got when I was reading through this. Also, if you've ever seen the movie The Ninth Gate, I don't think that movie is really well loved. I loved it. I thought it was great. But in that movie, Johnny Depp's character has to, kind of investigate whether this particular book he's looking for, I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to ruin it for you. He has to investigate these pictures, and he does so in great detail. And some of the pictures are legit, and some of them are not. And I really feel like you could do that with this book. That's how detailed these pictures are. The whole book is just a giant riddle. And unfortunately, the book is a little bit too long to read, but I am going to read you a few parts, just so you get a taste of how, I don't know, Mad Hattery this book is. And no pun intended, the book is actually centered around the idea of finding a hare, like you see with this little demon child on the front. Yeah, so there's a hare in every single photo. And if you watch my podcast book episode on this, you know that the hare was actually key to this guy finding the treasure, but there's a whole thing around. You'll have to watch that video to know what, because we're not going to go into that today. Today is all about this book. Now, I want to read you the back. So this is what the back of the book says. The precise location of the jewel is told in Masquerade by means of clues both visual and verbal. The jewel will belong to whoever discovers its hiding place. No knowledge of British geography is required. Kit Williams has said that the riddle could be solved by a child of 10 as easily as by a college graduate. Now, I am a college graduate, and there's no way in hell, I have no idea where to even begin with this book. I mean, it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous, as you will see, but it is so out there. It is so weird. I love it, but there is no way in hell I would have ever found this treasure. So guys, I know this book has a really weird premise that might be interesting to a lot of you, and it really has to be taken together. Like, the visuals and the story have to be taken together. If you are interested in that, let me know down below, and I will do a video reading this book and showing you guys all of the pictures. But let me know down below if that's something you'd be interested in. So let's dive into this absolute hellscape of a kid's book. So, like I said, it's called Masquerade. It's centered around the idea of finding this little hare. Now, the story itself is very kid-friendly. You have the moon fall in love with the sun. Right away, we get our symbolism. And she sends the hare, her messenger, with a jewel to the sun and a riddle that he needs to figure out. Now, that's not the only riddle in this book. The book is absolutely fraught with them. And the pictures themselves are kind of like visual riddles. Allow me to show you. So guys, you are going to have to excuse some of the pictures. There are some rips, there are some tears. I really didn't have a whole lot of choice. There wasn't many of these copies available. And the one that I have is really beautiful, but it isn't in the best condition. So you'll have to excuse that. So let's dive in. I'll just show you the very first picture. So this is the opening where we find out about the moon falling in love with the sun. And as you can see, around each of the photos, you have words. And the words kind of, sort of, go with the passage that's on the opposite page, but not directly. Okay, now you see what I'm saying about how the book is both a visual riddle and a literary riddle. So let me back up and see. The pictures are gorgeous, though. Just look at that. Is that not beautiful? So in the book, right down here, it says that there's a hare in every single picture. Now, your girl actually found the hares in every photo. It took me a minute, took me a hot second on some of them, but I did it. Now, does that mean that I found the treasure? No, I still have no idea. But, but I'm going to show you this one and see if you can find the hare. Okay? I'll give you a second. He's right out in the open. See if you can find him. All right. I love this. It's like we're solving the riddle together. Like I said, the moon falls in love with the sun. She sends the hare to the sun with a gem. And then you have this like hare going through this big journey and he meets a bunch of people. Again, it's kind of like the fool's journey. Very fraught with symbolism, very fraught with archetypes. If you are familiar with Jung, I think you're going to get a lot of that from this book. So case in point, check this action out. Does that not look like the Lover's Tarot card? I think it does, right? And I have to say, the book is gorgeous. It is, but there's a lot in here that is just, what the hell was he on? Now, here is one of the first riddles in the book. 50 is my first, nothing is my second. 5 just makes my third. My fourth a vowel is reckoned. Now to find my name, fit my parts together. I die if I get cold, but never fear cold weather. Might I also add that there's no answers given in this. And I'm sure they're probably on the internet somewhere. I haven't looked them up. You guys know I don't do that before these videos, so you get my raw reactions. What the hell? Can you figure it out? I can't figure it out. Anyway, here's another photo. We have the hare like front and center here, but look at these gorgeous blue flowers. Oh, and these words around each picture. Again, very Ninth Gate movie-y. Like this one says, the day begins and the sleepy hours of night are over. But, look, some of the letters are different colors, which makes me think that's like a clue. Maybe, maybe not. You know, I'm never right. But you see, some of the letters are different colors. Yeah, that's the case in some of these pictures, but not all of them. Here we go. Here's another one of the riddles. I have a little house, its windows number plenty. It's full of flowers that no man picked, and you may have it when it's empty. So, like I said, he meets a bunch of people, but the one that is really trippy, like, what the hell was he smoking, is this, like, flower lady that was flying in the sky with a raven. Yeah, just look at that nightmare, right? Sweet dreams, like, what the hell? So around this picture, it says, the hills are not as high, the sea so deep as a dream. Her, this lady, I think her name is Tara. Yeah. She says, this is her riddle. I have a little sister, and in the field she's seen, dressed in yellow petticoats and a gown of green. She's not a bird and cannot sing, but she can fly without a wing. Okay, so I think I might know this one. I thought maybe it was a dandelion, because of the yellow and then the green stem. But then when they like go to seed, you know, you can like blow them and they fly away. Tell me, do you guys think I'm right? I actually thought I might have gotten that one. Okay, so then the moon gets like all out of whack because she's trying to follow the hare and see if he gets to the sun. And so she stops doing the shit that the moon's supposed to do. And so people start freaking out. And we get this kind of like Pandora's box scene happen where like all the evils of the world come out of their mouth. And I'm not even going to attempt to explain it. It's so weird. Okay, so here is the riddle that the unhappy moon says when all of this is going down, when all of the, you know, people are so weirded out because the moon's not doing what she's supposed to do in the sky and it's throwing off the waves and all this. I am the beginning of eternity, followed by half a circle, close on by half a square. Through my fourth, my fifth is seen, to be the first in every pair. My sixth begins my seventh, the end of time and space. Now put my parts together to see what's taken place. Okay, as if that's not weird enough, look at this nightmare of a photo. Yeah? That's like all of the evil shit coming out into the world, right? And then you just have this rabbit that looks like he's coming to eat your soul. Yeah. Look at that hot mess. All right, so around this picture, it says, round and round, follow you. Round and round, you follow me. Like, I don't know why. That was like nightmare fuel for me. Like, the whole book has this weird-ass vibe. It really does. And the pictures just add to it. So one of the people that our hare, Jack, meets is like Father Time, kinda, but that's not how he describes himself. He describes himself as, I am the man that plays the music that makes the world go round. Very like kids booky, but at the same time, kind of sends a little chill down you, I think. And for whatever reason, this man is sitting on a giant sow. Yeah, no clue. No idea why. It's not explained. Okay, so another thing. In a lot of these pictures, there's like this weird, almost like Sudoku looking shit. And this is a great example of it. So here is one of the weird pictures of a marionette. But you see this right here? It's got like a bunch, this one has a bunch of letters on it, but there's a bunch of them that have numbers. Like going back to our crazy flower lady, look down here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Look down here. You see that? It's like on this football field, but it's a bunch of numbers. It's very Sudoku-y. And I have no idea why. I'm sure it's something, maybe, might be a red herring, who knows? But yeah, that's real weird too. And each of the pictures are just kind of eerie. They're very eerie, like this one at the end. You have this broken doll down here who is not alluded to in the passage. Like, I don't know why the hell that's there. But you get Jack getting to the sun. Like, he has to run across this. Like, the sun is setting and Jack has to hop across the water before the color goes away or whatever. And so he gets there to the sun, but he realizes that he lost the gem somewhere like in the book. And it says that you can go back and try to figure out where he lost the gem. And apparently that's supposed to like lead you to the treasure. I tried it. I have no idea. No clue. Like at one point he meets this like thrift store guy and I thought maybe he lost it there. But if he did, I can't find any clues as to that in the text. The very last line in this book, after he realizes he like gives the sun the message from the moon and he realizes that he lost the gem, it says, the sun set and the day was over. That's it. That's the end of the book. So yeah, that's Masquerade. Weird as hell. Absolutely strange. If you have liked any of these books that we've talked about on this series and you would like to get your hands on one of the weirder ones, I highly recommend. Like I said, this copy is not in the greatest condition. It was cheap on Amazon. It was one of only 2, I think. So I didn't have a whole lot to choose from. But guys, let me know what you think down below. Like I said, if you want a little bit more, I don't go too much into this in that episode when we talk about the podcast book, but maybe do some research. You know, there is a whole like shtick around this, the whole like treasure finding thing. But this is gorgeous. If you are into weird kids books like I am, this is a must-have. So guys, what do you think of Masquerade? For me, the horror of this book is not in your face, but it is one of the better ones, I think. It's super weird. And I don't know, the whole vibe, you really kind of have to just have it in front of you to get the full magnitude of what I'm trying to say. Because taking the story into account, the story is very child-friendly. You know, yes, it's fraught with symbolism, but, you know, as far as like the moon loving the sun, there's a rabbit, not like it's very kid-friendly. But when you take into account the whole situation about how like it wasn't really meant for kids per se, so it has this weird like, I don't know, Stepford, Uncanny Valley shit going on, because you know going in that this wasn't meant for children, but it has a very like kids booky look to it, very storybooky, you know? And I don't know, it's so weird, and I loved it. I really did. I really loved it. It definitely gave me some Ninth Gate kind of vibes because I found myself staring at the pictures, you know, trying to find the rabbits and, you know, really trying to like get into the story. Like, what am I missing? You know, trying to figure out the riddles. It was just, it's the whole creepy package. It really is. So guys, that's it. Thank you for hanging around for this one. I have been dying to talk about this book. I know this was a weird episode, but it's a weird ass book and I loved it. I highly recommend if you guys are at all into like treasure hunting or riddles, this is a must-have. You've got to have it. If you like riddles and you don't have Masquerade, you are missing out. It is so weird. But guys, again, thank you for hanging out for another episode of Pax's Little Library of Horrors. Please like and subscribe. It would really help me out. And until next time, class dismissed.